Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Srila Guru Deva. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaur Hari Bol. Nittai Gaur Premanandi. We continue reading from Prabhupada Lilamrita, Prabhupada your ever well-wisher, by His Holiness Satswarup Maharaj. The abridged version though. While there was nothing lamentable for Srila Prabhupada in his departing from the world and going back to Godhead, it was certainly lamentable for his followers and for the people of the whole world, who became bereft of the presence of their greatest well-wisher and benefactor. Srila Prabhupada had written in a Srimad Bhagavatam purport, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, the disciple should cry exactly like the queen cries when the king leaves his body. At the departure of his own spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada had written, "On that day, O my master, I made a cry of grief. I was not able to tolerate the absence of you, my Guru." And so on November 14, 1977, as the powerful news spread around the world. Those who knew and loved Srila Prabhupada were gripped by a fearful, unrestricted grief. They saw everything around them in the overwhelming atmosphere of separation from Srila Prabhupada. They turned for solace to Srila Prabhupada's books. However, the disciples and spiritual masters are never separated because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of Vani. Physical presence is called Vapu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master. And when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciples should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtapraeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. We continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, chapter entitled Hiranyakashipu, King of the Demons. And today's text is text 22. Nityatmavyashuddha sarvaga sarvavit para dhate svatmano lingam mayaya visrijan gunan nityatmavyashuddha sarvaga sarvavit para dhate svatmano lingam mayaya visrijan gunan nityatmavyashuddha sarvaga sarvavit para dhatta savatmano lingam mayaya visrijan gunan. Please chant. Nityatmavyashuddha sarvaga sarvavit para dhatte savatmano lingam mayaya visrijan gunan. Vaishnavis. Nitya, eternal. Atma, spirit soul. Avyaya, inexhaustible. Shuddha, with no material tinge. Sarvaga, qualified to go anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds. Sarvavit, full of knowledge. Para, transcendental to material conditions. Dhatte, accepts. Asau, that Atma or living being. Atmana, of the self. Lingam, a body. Mayaya, by the material energy. Vishrijan, creating. Gunan, various material qualities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki. The spirit soul, the living entity, has no death, for he is eternal and inexhaustible. Being free from material contamination, he can go anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds. He is fully aware and completely different from the material body. But because of being misled by misuse of his slight independence, he is obliged to accept subtle and gross bodies created by the material energy and thus be subjected to so-called material happiness and distress. Therefore, no one should lament for the passing of the spirit soul from the body. Purport. Hiranyakashipu very intelligently described the position of the soul. The soul is never the body, but is always completely different from the body. Being eternal and inexhaustible, the soul has no death. But when the same pure soul desires to enjoy the material world independently, he is placed under the conditions of material nature and must therefore accept a certain type of body and suffer the pains and pleasures thereof. This is also described by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 13:22, Karanam guna sangasya sadasad yoni janmasu. The living entity is born in different families or species of life because of being infected by the modes of material nature. When conditioned by material nature, the living entity must accept a certain type of body which is offered by nature under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddhadesha arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Bhagavad Gita 1861. The body is just like a machine, and according to the living entity's karma, he is offered a particular type of machine to move here and there under the control of material nature. This continues until he surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Until he surrenders, the conditioned soul is carried from life to life by the arrangement of material nature. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपा बुद्धिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Pray for your blessings that we study Srimad Bhagavatam in the proper light of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pray that one day I can understand, emulate the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pray that I become the first listener of the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Prem Bhakti Prasud, Prem Bhakti Udgar Updesh, this expression and these instructions for the ultimate benefit, ultimate interest, ultimate hit of the living entity of the soul proper, which is to attain pure loving devotional service under the lotus feet of the divine couple. So here in 7th canto, 2nd chapter, 7th canto, 2nd chapter entitled Hiranyakashipu, King of the Demons. So we see this understanding of spiritual science being presented by Hiranyakashipu. Who is Hiranyakashipu? King of the demons, best of the demons. Hiranyakashipu saying this. And maybe just a bit of a background, if I may, please, with your permission, take this opportunity to say, understand, express a bit of a background, say. So this Hiranyakashipu, I believe, is speaking to his mother, Diti, and to his other family members, friends, family members, and consoling them, telling them about the science of soul, and telling them that his brother Hiranyaksh was killed by Vishnu. So he is consoling them and pacifying them with words of wisdom. And definitely these are words of wisdom only. Now, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, as we understand, who are they? They were formerly Jay and Vijay. So they were doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, of the spiritual kingdom where Lord Narayan resides. So Vaikuntha, the spiritual sky, in the spiritual sky, there are unlimited, innumerable spiritual planets. Club just say Vaikuntha. And one in Vaikuntha, Lord Narayan resides, and Jay and Vijay were doorkeepers of the residence of Lord Narayan. And so it happened one fine day, the four young boys of Lord Brahma, the four boys of young boys of Lord Brahma, young as in maybe say 5-10-year-old or 5-year-old something, boys of Lord Brahma, they entered Vaikuntha. They were so pure, so gentle, so pious, and not just pure, gentle, pious. They had developed an somewhat say an attraction towards definitely spirituality, towards impersonal Brahman, and furthermore that they traveled all the way to Vaikuntha to take darshan of the Lord Narayan. And as they were in the entering Vaikuntha planet, at the doorsteps were Jay and Vijay, who stopped them, forbade them from entering. Uh, they did not have their proper, say, COVID pass or maybe some sort of pass, so they were forbidden from entering into the Vaikuntha planet. And as they were forbidden, the four Kumaras they cursed the doorkeepers. Now, in Krishna consciousness, curse do happen. Lots of cursing happen. But in Krishna consciousness, blessing and cursing they give the same result. They have the same effect. Ultimately, pain and joy in Krishna consciousness is both joyous. Is both joyous. So someone who can take the pain for Guru Maharaj, wow, what a joyous. It's such a good, joyous achievement to actually take the pain for spiritual master. So pain and joy, blessing and curse both have the same effect in Krishna consciousness because Krishna is at the source. In societal sense, we see pain is painful, joy is joyous. And there's a clear demarcation, there's a clear separation. But unlike in Krishna consciousness, we desire to be what? Peacefully disturbed or disturbing ourselves in a peace. Now, in societal sense, it doesn't work. Someone being peacefully disturbed. But this peacefully disturbance in Krishna consciousness is like practicing, studying Krishna consciousness. Certainly, there will be a peace. Peace from material upheavals, what is going on and all. We need not be participating or engaging in the hoo-ha of this material world, in the sosha hoo-ha of this material world. But disturbance is what? Disturbance is what? Disturbance is soul won't be able to sleep properly. A devotee shouldn't get good sleep. Uh, how can a devotee sleep like that? So soul won't be able to sleep properly until and unless he attains the divine darshan, the divine seva of the divine couple. So that is the disturbance, and everyone has to go through this disturbance. And blessed are those who can go through this disturbance. And this is what Mahaprabhu has come actually. Mahaprabhu himself was very disturbed, na? Embodying Radha Bhav altogether, uh, and couldn't manage to sustain himself. Daytime somehow he used to pass. Daytime somehow he used to pass. Devotees coming from Jagannath Puri bringing prasadam, devotees going to Jagannath Puri sharing prasadam, and who's coming, who's going, accommodation, have the rooms been made, what's going on, how are the bookings going, and how's the gardens in Jagannath Puri, how's the prasadam. So daytime somehow Mahaprabhu used to still kind of sustain himself, maintain himself, pass his time. Evenings were extremely difficult. As evenings approached, extremely difficult. Nighttime, tremendously difficult for Mahaprabhu. So, practicing Krishna consciousness, we better follow the mood, the teachings of our acharyas, what is in store for us, for our upliftment of our constitutional position altogether. So the four Kumaras they cursed the Brahmanas, they cursed the Jai Vijay, the doorkeepers, and Lord Vishnu appeared, then Narayan himself appeared at the door to check what is going on, why there is a bit of hoo-ha happening in here. In Vaikuntha, there seems to be some sort of anxiety. So when he appeared at the door, Lord Narayan himself personally took responsibility. That yes, no, I take responsibility. And this shows how much Krishna cares for Brahmanas. Namo Brahman Devaya. He very much upholds the values of Brahmanas tremendously. So the curse came into being. Who has the capacity to curse the? Can anyone curse the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And can anyone curse the Parshad, the associate of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Krishna and his Parshads, they are non-different, na? Krishna and his Dham are non-different. So there is no tinge of material consciousness there, material thought or anything, uh, material desire or any sort of thing in there. So who can possibly curse? But for this is a khilwar, um, this is an arrangement done by Yog Maya to facilitate the desire of the Lord, to facilitate the desire of the Lord. So the curse came into being, okay, and Jai Vijay they fell. The curse was you fall down in the material world, and because of you being disobedient doorkeepers, fall down. You don't deserve to be in here. And Lord Narayan sanctioned and curse. Okay, fall down 3 lives and in material world, and then return to Vaikuntha planet and take back your positions there. And in these 3 lives, so Jai Vijay became what? Uh, Ravana, Kumbhakaran, and we see in Lord Ram's pastimes, and then in Krishna's pastime, Shishupal and Dantavakra, and this Vamana Dev, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, so Vara and Narsinga Avatar, so they become Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, this. And now they are speaking. Now look, in Srimad Bhagavatam, those who have been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam are all transcendental personalities. So it is not like a demon as such who is speaking. So for us, like even Hiranyakashipu, a demon and all, and what he is speaking is very hard to, very upsetting to hear, very upsetting to hear. Like previous verses we read now, that he's instructing his fellow demons that burn down the trees, and burn all, put water in all the fire sacrifices, disturb the brahmanas, create a lot of chaos and all. So all this is very upsetting to hear. But when we understand who is Hiranyakashipu, then we don't develop a sense of animosity or enviousness towards him. So perhaps again for myself, the learning possibly I can take is when I go out distributing books or meeting someone in temple or outside of temple and all, when I hear people speaking mundane philosophy, mundane talks, and this and that, and also having a very low faith and not good friendship with Vaishnavas and all, maybe I can little bit control myself, and I can learn how to develop a sense of detachment, in the sense how to differentiate the person from his mind. The person, because of ignorance, they are speaking like that. But when they are brought towards real knowledge and all, slowly, gradually, everyone will be purified and become a potential pure devotee of Krishna. So here, Hiranyakashipu is explaining the science of the soul. The spirit, living entity has no death, for he is eternal and inexhaustible. Inexhaustible, na? In order to experience this inexhaustible, we have to become fully exhaust from the material conditions, from the material desires, material temptations, uh, our material agenda. We have to completely become exhaust. Or when we develop a slight interest towards transcendence, towards eternality, only then we can actually exhaust ourselves from material temptations, desires. And old age is such a blessing. uh, Again, see, in societal sense, no one wants old age, same. Old age and all. No one looks forward to old age in societal sense. But in Krishna consciousness, old age is such a great blessing. What? Okay, done. Done with society pretty much. What? And now just old age, no restriction. Old age people, what restriction they have? They can jump the queue. No one can say anything to them. And even if they don't jump the queue, say someone can help them, that sir, madam, please come forward. And this is the culture, this is how it should be done also. Respected, no? Respect for, like they say, pensioner, or this, no, that free tickets and these things, some facilities and benefits, it's good. So when old age, as in no more as such obligation towards society, rules, regulations, family conduct, and all. Of course, one must behave, maintain a decorum for sure. But point being, in old age, one has the full license freedom. One should utilize that license and freedom in channelizing pure, proper, one-pointed Krishna consciousness altogether. Now, one day for ourselves as well, whatever bodily age we are currently, one day we are going to, maybe we are going to come to a old age as well, old bodily age, and now is the time to prepare for it. Now is the time to prepare for it. If we do not prepare now, then when? Hmm? Suddenly, at the time of death, Krishna won't appear just like that until and unless there is a relationship being built. Uh, So here, Hiranyakashipu again consoling, pacifying his family members that come to reality, come to acceptance, and understand spirit soul. Now look the Vedic culture how is set out. Um, and when someone passes away, there's an assembly, a Baithak, a Shok Sabha, an assembly for grieving mourning time. In every culture, there's grieving mourning time, right? By and large, for 13 days or certain days. Friends, family members, they come to the house, they cry, weep, should cry also, share out their heart, and there's some mantras being chanted, some recitation done from scriptures, Garud Puran and other Puranas. Uh, Even Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter is also read. And all this is what? To help one understand that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. So the person who passed away, he is also helping us understand that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. That is just the beginning. That is just the beginning, although. And that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. But the way the Varnashram Dharma Vedic culture is all set out is for this purpose only, say, to understand what is our identity and act and live by it. Uh, Living in this world, although we live very much in illusion, in cover up, we hardly understand we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, and our what is our destination or purpose in life, say. But that is also great. That gives us an opportunity. Someone else is passing away gives us an opportunity to correct ourselves, to check ourselves, and furthermore. So here in Hiranyakashipu, through the death of his brother, he's specifying his family members and others. And we can learn for ourselves as well how to pacify ourselves, how to console ourselves, and how to progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, any thoughts, questions, comments, or any clarifications or any reflections?
There's a couple of things in this whole pastime which are quite, I don't know, like for example, the Pokumars that they managed to reach the gates of Vaikuntha without already having a spiritual, I don't know, I'm speculating actually, they have a spiritual body already, so reach the gates. And then also the eternal associates of the world were cursed and sent back down to the material world, which is not really conceivable. I'm just wondering about this, if you could share something about this.
This is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. No? Entrance in the spiritual realm is through one's consciousness. The body is already there. Consciousness needs to be prepared. Prabhupada wrote another small book, beautiful, what? Elevation to Krishna consciousness. Elevation of is of what? Not of body, but of consciousness. Jivan mukta se uchyate. Uh, Rupa Goswami's teachings, while living in this body, we have to develop pure consciousness. The body certainly has its limitations. This world is a world of duality, the three modes and all. So there are limitations, there is limitation. In this body one cannot experience that level of love for Krishna. This body is not compatible for that. But yes, bhav, at least bhav can be developed. We read maybe in this, oh no, in morning was it? Chaitanya Charitamrita morning reading. So bhav has to be developed. Then the body is there. Shishikharanta Mayapur Sashiki. So the four Kumaras, they developed that attraction, that bhav, that mood. First, they were in impersonal Brahman worship and impersonal understanding. But when they smell the tulsi, the fragrance of tulsi being offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, they were so attracted or agitated by it. It perturbed their consciousness. It shook them up, perturbed their consciousness, and then they Arohan, then they went towards Vaikuntha Loka to find the source of the fragrance of the tulsi, which is offered to the lotus feet. So then they exhaled towards Vaikuntha planet. Uh, there's no other, like, as such material consideration and all. Consciousness has to be prepared. And it's not like one is full Krishna conscious when one reaches there and all. Even in this world, while living in this world, we have to demonstrate, we have to give some demonstration. Na? So while living in this world, we have to become Krishna conscious. We need not be full 24 hours Krishna conscious, but at least when we do japa, at least when we walk in, walk out of the temple, at least one day, 7 days of a week, at least some fine day, we become a bit more Krishna conscious, and then we move on, we progress from there. So that is the first part, and how the eternal associates of the Lord being cursed. So this is a question which Yudhishthir Maharaj also asks Narad Muni. Comes in 7th canto, in this canto itself actually, first chapter, text 33 to 35 onwards, where Yudhishthir Maharaj asks this. It is unbelievable. Again, for externally, it may seem like, okay, cursing happening, curse happening. Like we see in past times, throughout past times, what is the difference? Say, for instance, Dhruva Maharaj past times. Externally, so much of spices, so much of masala, na? In Bhagavatam, wood spices, na? And especially the many who want to jump over to 10th canto or Krishna Leela, Ras Leela and whatnot, uh, or take them as a masala or spices sort of thing. So anyways, in Bhagavatam, there is this ups and downs, thrills, drama, comedy, adventure, all such is there. Uh, Everything is there, that proper packaging is there. But the point being that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is this pure loving devotional service, and to invoke that pure bhakti, that is there, and that has to be checked. Otherwise, Harry Potter and Bhagavatam, what is the difference? Or Lord of the Rings and Bhagavatam, what is the difference? Or Spider-Man, Superman, Bhagavatam, what is the difference? There's no dearth of masala in this world. Bollywood, Hollywood, full of masala only, full of spices. At the max, they may sometimes touch upon something on the mode of goodness, but nothing like transcendental. And Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental literature. So the question still remains: how is it that the Brahmanas were cursed? The eternal associates of Lord Narayan were cursed. For the eternal associates, one who has attained eternity, especially eternal associate, attain eternity in the Vaikuntha planets and all, then blessing and curse, they all have one effect only, bringing joy to Krishna. So we see this again. This is also addressed in third canto, 7th canto. We see here Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksh. So third canto, chapter 16, text 26 to 25. Beautiful purport. Prabhupada writes, Lord Narayan had a desire to fight. Na? And Yogmaya is such a beautiful devotee of Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan had a desire to fight. He wanted to fight. Now is there fighting in spiritual world? There is no fighting in spiritual world. With whom will he fight and why to fight? There is no preaching in spiritual world. There is no fighting in spiritual world. So Lord Narayan desired to fight. Now he desired, like, okay, let me loosen my arms a bit. Let me just relax a bit, loosen my arms. So he desired to fight. So he desired to come to the material world and experience joy of fighting. Now with whom will he fight? Hmm? Not with personalities like you and us. No, he fought with his transcendental eternal associates, with his devotees, with his parshas. Now they appeared then. Whenever a king goes, or even prime minister goes somewhere, before he goes somewhere, the entourage or his kafila, his securities and all, they reach beforehand. Na? So before Lord Narayan appeared, he had this desire. Yogmaya fulfilled his desires through this arrangement, and Jai and Vijay appeared. And then Lord Narayan appeared to have a fight. and experience this pastime. So many say, na, what that spirituality, Krishna consciousness is like a drama only. Life is like a drama. It is like a drama. We all are playing characters. In drama, what happens? You play the role, na? You play characters, you play the roles. Someone is a director who is directing a drama, and some theme of the drama is going on. Now in drama, someone is a director, someone is a producer, someone are actors, and naturally there is someone who is a cameraman who is recording through the lenses of the camera, na, the drama. And what happens in the drama? Everyone plays the role. And when the director says pack up, or when the drama is over, then what happens? Okay, everyone go behind the curtain and all, and then friends. There's no more. In drama, someone is playing the role of a hero, heroine, villain. But when the drama is over, no as such hero, no as such heroine, no as such villain. Na? They come back to their original personality. They know what their original personality is and who they are as such. So, likewise, just Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they were internally kind of protecting. This is teachings learning for us. Internally, we have to protect our identity. Externally, participate in the world. But problem is, we get lost in the world. We take drama to be reality. We get so absorbed. Wasn't it this Australian actor who was he, or some actor who played the role of Spider-Man or Superman? Na? And he got so absorbed in the role that he locked himself in his room for about 40 days or something, and he wanted to prepare himself for the role, prepare for the, wanted to go into the character, as they say. So much so that this person, he locked himself in rooms, and he stopped connecting with friends, family and all, and so much just director maybe and himself and everything want to go into the character. And when he went into the character of Mr. Spider-Man or Mr. Superman, whichever, or Mr. He-Man, he went so much into those characters that he developed a sense of obsession with those characters. And ultimately what? He was developing a sense of depression. And ultimately, eventually what happened? He committed suicide. Committed suicide. So this is societal drama wherein we take the drama to be reality. So much so that once there was a drama being played, a drama was being played, and a lady, she was pregnant, and as part of the drama, a lady was pregnant, and some visitor, the director said, okay, you are pregnant, you are in the house alone, and some visitor is going to knock into your door and ask to come in for shelter. It's raining outside, and come for shelter, and he's hungry also, or he wants to come in for some time, but you don't have to let him in. Hmm? Kind of that was the drama. The director said, okay, and the scene started, the drama was going on, play started. Time came that, okay, the lady was acting to be being pregnant, and someone knocked at the door. Ting tong, rang the doorbell, and the lady opened the door, and this gentleman came, and he was drenched in rain water because it was raining. And the gentleman was acting very nicely. I'm so hungry, thirsty. Improvised so much in the character that the lady said, okay, okay, come in, sit, I'll get you a drink, I'll get you water. Lady being her kind hearted and all to serve and all. So, and this confused the director. The director was, well, this is not part of the role. The part of the drama is you don't have to let this man come in. And then there's the next dialogue for this person, next dialogue for that person, next thing, and all everything. This is not the part of the role. Hmm. But the lady, she lost the plot a bit, and she allowed that man to come. And even the man was confused. He knew that, okay, I'm supposed to say this. She's supposed to, no, don't come. Then I'm supposed to go out. And furthermore, this, that. And now the lady said it, took her hand. Yes, yes, come in. What does he do? Huh? This is life. This is life. We hardly live in reality. We are carrying these mukhotas, these faces, different faces, different bodily identity, all this. The real checkpoint is Guru Sadhu Shastra, taking into association of devotees, falling under the lotus feet of devotees, That is the key of the key. That is the sar of the sar. Hmm. Until this, nagati kutopi. No, hard what advancement is there until and unless one put oneself under the shelter, the care of a devotee, or like that one puts oneself under the shelter and care of one's spiritual master. Say. And by advancement, we are after developing ragatmika bhavana, developing attachment towards Krishna. Uh, so that thing that comes about by associating with those personalities who are in that mood and bhav. So apparently it looks that the doorkeepers were cursed and apparently something happened and all. But this is all khilwar again, a display, a display of the Yog Maya, the internal potency of Krishna to facilitate this pastime to fulfill the desire of Krishna. And via this, many things are settled down. For us, also, some spiritual knowledge, some spiritual learning to align ourselves to direct and project our lives. Where do we want to head, who we are, and all furthermore, and understand more in depth the mission of Mahaprabhu, the teachings, the message of Mahaprabhu. Uh, what does love mean in Krishna consciousness? For us to take all of that, understand all of that. And yeah, Narayan Krishna appeared in Narayan form, in Narsinga form, and in Vara form, and had some good fun with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Now, here also, does this answer your question? Here also, Hiranyakashipu consoling his family members, friends' family members. As we read previously, demons are good at consoling, they are good at everything. They are endowed with intelligence. Everyone is endowed with intelligence. It is how you make use of it. So demons make use of the intelligence what for fulfilling their own agenda. And that okay, fine, you all pacify yourself and fulfilling their own agenda. Hiranyakashipu, even though speaking such things, but so carried away Maya Parita Jnana, so taken over by Maya that even though giving words of wisdom, still it is not penetrating his heart. So for us sadhakas, we need to understand the teachings and message of Mahaprabhu. And what does preaching mean? What is it mean to preach? And preaching is for whom? It might happen, we might be preaching to the entire globe, but ourselves, what are we doing? We might be telling everyone to advance, do this, do that, and all, but for ourselves, for oneself. So, Krishna consciousness is a complete package. The philosophy, culture, and etiquette, everything has to be understood and embraced wholeheartedly. Day in, day out, effort has to be done. Sometimes we'll slip for sure. Many times, rather, we'll slip, fall down. But then we have to gather ourselves in one piece and move on, continue, continue. So, best is when we pray to develop a sense of attachment. When we pray to develop a sense of attachment, then we can easily keep ourselves on the check. We can watch ourselves. One thing which is commonly uncommon in this universe, not just this in Europe, not just in Asia, Africa, not just in this earthly planet. Say one thing which is commonly uncommon in this universe is what? Common sense. Very commonly uncommon. Having a common sense of common sense is very uncommon. And what is the common sense? It is the sheer common sense to love and serve Krishna. No brainer for a pure devotee to practice Krishna consciousness, to read, chant, glorify Krishna. No brainer. Of course, what education is needed around that? So that is Ragatmika Bhakti, that is spontaneous love, where no education is required, no learning, teachings, instruction. And that is Tadhama Paramam Mamana, the Paramta of Krishna's abode. Uh, no, no bhakta programs or anything of that sort, or courses and all. free flow of love altogether. So this human form of life is all to prepare a mood, to prepare ourselves towards that direction, that one day we become a natural devotee of Krishna. Anything which is natural is very like and is very appreciated. Natural, na? Anything natural is good, anything organic is good. We know buy any organic thing, it is expensive, na? So which means it must be good. Uh, So natural is good, and this natural sense of Krishna consciousness has to come about. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, or clarifications? Everyone is trying to fulfill their agenda in this society. It's easy to say someone a demon and demoniac and all. And there are very few who are trying to fulfill the agenda of Mahaprabhu. So we can take on this ownership on ourselves, this responsibility on ourselves to understand the message of Mahaprabhu and to fulfill the act in fulfilling the mission of Mahaprabhu. Although this mission is so huge, since eternity, it will never be fulfilled. There will be always room and all, always scope and all, but at least for ourselves, we can get easily saturated. We can get easily overpowered or consumed altogether. Blessed are those who have found a consumption in service, who have found a consumption in seva, in reading, hearing, japa, and glorifying and understanding and practicing Krishna consciousness. Blessed are those. Now, in society, we see what someone is living in this world uh, and someone is living of this world. What does it mean, living in this world? Or world may sound a bit of a big thing. Someone is living in this country, someone is living of this country. What does this mean? Someone living of the country. Someone is living in the family, living with the family, and someone is living of the family.
Exploiting the resources of
Yeah.
living off.
Someone could be living in the country, someone could be living of the country, as in, country serve me. I deserve this, I deserve that, serve me, serve me. Exploiting the resources, as Prabhu says, to fulfilling one's own agenda, to fulfilling one's own idea, desire, and all. So, someone could be living in the temple and someone could be living off the temple. Why not? Someone is, well, living in the temple or outside the temple, wherever we are. Two things, na? Either we are living in this world or we are living off this world. Na? But for us, we should be all directed towards Krishna, na? Towards Guru Sadhu Shastra, Guru Gaurang, and service and pleasing and developing this mood and attitude. Since eternity, we have been either living in this world or living off this world. But now is the time that we live for Krishna. We have lived for ourselves, we are living for ourselves, and in that living for ourselves, we are not getting much joy. So, this is the difference between a demoniac and divine mentality. A demonic mentality is like living off this world. Hiranyakashipuna is trying to then exploit, he is trying to manipulate. Na? Demonic mentality is manipulate, fabricate, exploit. That is what like politicize, and furthermore, so much so, and ignore the desire of Krishna. Okay, thank you very much for your kind participation and encouragement. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.